I'd like to start by asking everyone to please raise your hand if you're fluent in more than one language. Okay, now please raise your hand if you'd like to be fluent in one language someday. Okay, so my name is Olivia Krause, and I'm here to explain to you why more hands should be raised for that second question. I'll be talking about the significance and relevance of bilingualism in our world today. So, my essential question for this project was, how does being bilingual enhance achievement? I focused on three main benefits of learning a foreign language that result in achievement. And that was academic, occupational, and neurological. To begin, I'll talk about the academic benefits. So one academic advantage of learning a new language is that it forces you to focus on grammar that you might not otherwise of your own native language. Learning a new language means that you have to analyze and understand tenses and sentence structure of your own language. So for example, in Spanish, when I was learning preterite and imperfect, I remember I had no idea what that was in English. So it forced me to get that concept both in English and in Spanish. Bilingualism also enhances academic achievement by creating a more well-rounded, curious, and open-minded student. It's important for students to learn about other cultures just than their own, and learning a foreign language does that. But work ethic is probably the most important component of learning a new language. It's extremely challenging for monolinguals to step out of their comfort zone and communicate in a way they never have before. This challenge prepares students for other difficult subjects in their future and ultimately their life. So I have a quote that kind of sums that up. It's really good to learn something hard. You need to get used to the idea that not everything is going to come easy. That's the best part of learning a foreign language. You're learning to persevere. Perseverance is the most important thing you can learn. And that quote is from Mrs. Deacon, the Bow Middle School Spanish teacher. I interviewed her for my project. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my own project. So I decided to do a teaching project because I thought, what better way to share the power of bilingualism than to teach it. So I arranged to teach every Friday at the Bow Meeting House Montessori School, where I taught kindergartners and first graders, a group of about 15 of them, every Friday for an hour. So my lessons ranged from teaching about colors to body parts, greetings and goodbyes, and we worked together for 10 weeks. So this is a little video to show you. This is when we were learning the greetings and goodbyes. Hola.
Hola.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Adios.
Adios.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Good. So as you can see from that video, the kids got really excited and they loved singing the songs, and we actually ended up singing that song almost every time I came. And they would always ask, Olivia, can we sing the song? So it was really cute and fun. So here are some other pictures of my time there. So my goal for this project was to leave a positive impression about foreign language on the students I was working with. I wanted them to, once I left, have this memory of learning a language and having it be fun. Because when they get older, I wanted them to be excited to learn a new foreign language. So this is another picture. This is Briley, and I'll talk about her a little bit later. This is Chester. So now on to occupational benefits. So when it comes to the business world, language absolutely advances one's status when you're entering. Having traits that stand out over your competitors is crucial. So entering business with a background of 2 or more languages improves one's credentials and most often automatically increases payment. Not only does bilingualism advance status entering into the business world, but it also helps establish important connections. especially when it comes to international business. Being able to connect with a person or persons directly with their native language can create lasting connections for an individual or for their company. So this is a quote from Ryan McNunn, who is a language expert, and he's the CEO of the company BRIC Language Systems. Those entering the workforce in 2016 with a second language fluency can expect an additional 10 to 15% increase. So I thought that was pretty profound and speaks to the power of being bilingual. Now on to neurological benefits. So one reoccurring neurological benefit I found throughout my research was this concept of neuroplasticity. This is the idea that experiences we have can change the shape of our mind and brain, which creates a different way of thinking for us. So when I kept reading more about this concept, I found it really fascinating because I think I've actually experienced this myself. So I've taken 5 years of Spanish, and I'll often find myself speaking in English and thinking about phrases or words that I'm using in Spanish while I'm speaking, especially after Spanish class where we speak fluent all Spanish. So I just found it really interesting to see that this is a real thing. So learning another language has also been proven to delay dementia and improve cognitive skills. According to a study conducted by the Texas Department of State Health Services, the analysis from researchers showed that both the manifestation and diagnosis of Alzheimer's occurred at least 4 years later for the bilingual or multilingual participants. So basically this was a study that looked at patients who suffered from Alzheimer's and dementia and traced their history, focusing on multiple components of their life, but mostly on their language abilities. So it was pretty outstanding that on average, those who were bilingual and multilingual were diagnosed 4 years later than those monolingual. So this is a quote from Dr. Ellen Bialstock, who's a psychologist who focuses on language and development. I don't think there's anything as intense as the way we interact with language. If you're a professional musician, you might practice 3 or 4 hours a day. If you're human, you're using language every second you're awake. I think that sums up the importance of language in our lives. So again, my question for this project was, how does learning a new language enhance achievement? And through completing this project, I came up with an answer for that, which developed into my thesis. Bilingualism enhances academic and occupational achievement, along with improving neurological development and function. So I hope my explanation has emphasized well enough academic, occupational, and neurological benefit, and has helped you understand the power of a bilingual brain. So to conclude my presentation, I'd like to talk about Briley. She was one of my students at the Montessori school. So I don't think anyone could have said it better than she said it when I asked her, why do you think it's important to learn another language? And she looked at me so eager to answer the question, and she said, it's important because when you get bigger and you're grown up, you can go anywhere and do anything and get jobs, which is exactly what I've spent this entire presentation explaining. So now I'd like to give a quick few thank yous. So I'd like to thank my mentor, Mrs. Rosenbluth, or Kinora as I call her. She's been extremely helpful throughout this project. She's given me advice on lesson plans and helped me not stress out too much. I've been able to go to her for everything. And thank you, Mrs. Dustin, for helping me with all of my writing and everything like that, but also being so forgiving with my Google Docs and Google Classroom struggles. And then I'd like to thank the students I worked with, who aren't here obviously, but they were so eager to learn, and it was such a great experience working with them. And I'd like to thank my family and friends who helped me with this project, and sometimes my friends would drive me to the Montessori school when I didn't have a car, or let me borrow their car. So thank you for that. And thank you everyone who came and watched my presentation. Are there any questions? Okay. Thank you. I can go a lot faster. Yep. Good job, Lydia. Thank you.
Would you mind if Mrs.
I know.
Hold on, let me just turn this off.